combat night.
Ritter in the red, set to get things started.
And both gentlemen here just pawing that jab out there. We got a southpaw versus orthodox.
That was. He was indicating he meant to kick him in the leg.
Yeah, is that what that was?
Trading low kicks, trying to figure out the distance and space.
Yeah, it's only been 1 minute, and sometimes when you hear these, it's interesting to, you know, hear the crowd yell. Sometimes when these crowds yell, it sort of like alludes to the fighter IQ of some of these fans that show up to these fights.
Yeah, for sure.
Stand up.
Hit him.
Right. Nice trade.
Yeah, both of these guys are respecting each other's power. Nice exchange, you know, inside leg kicks and trying to fight for that outside position here, being a southpaw versus orthodox. That's the key to victory. So who's going to, if you notice, both of these gentlemen, that lead leg there, whoever's got the outside step advantage is going to be able to line up that power hand better to land straight down the middle. And here they clinch up for the first time here. And Chad Ritter does not like that, so he breaks off. And now he's starting to advance forward and get Nelton Marsh's back up against the cage. Like you mentioned before, Dean, when it comes to this smaller cage here, all it takes is 2 steps, and now your back's up against there.
And you're noticing, from what I'm saying, is it's so important to not get backed up into that cage, because you can sense when you get backed up into the cage, they get a little nervous.
Yeah.
You see it, you sense a little nervous energy as they start getting closer to the fence. You kind of have to keep going forward inside this cage.
And there's not that far to go.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, sometimes you see the guy who's, once I got the person's back up against the cage, that's sort of like instills a little bit more confidence and be like, okay, yeah. You know, like the shark smelling blood in the water. I got this guy back up against the cage. Let me go in for a finish.
As we saw in the last fight.
Yeah. And for the first time there, Chad goes in for the takedown, but Nelton Marsh pops right back up.
Notice these guys have kept our official on his skates.
Yeah, less than 90 seconds left here. To me, this has definitely been a good exchange of the striking back and forth, regardless of what these two gentlemen records are.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, hard to tell.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that their records would be this just by looking at them fighting. But, you know, sometimes that's what you want to see. You want to see guys learn from their losses. And it looks like both of these gentlemen have done so.
Well, and another thing, too, is for me, when it comes to people who have a lot of losses, it comes down to the mistakes. Like, they can do a lot of things right, but then when it counts, they make a critical mistake which causes them to lose. So, and I'm looking at these guys, and they look great so far. I mean, really good styles, not getting crazy. But it's just going to come down to which one is going to make that critical mistake.
Yep.
Nice knee. Spinning back kick to the body landed. Oh, yeah.
Now, that's a good body kick. Those will add up.
Yeah,
Those will pay
definitely.
dividends later in the fight.
We're ready to get back to action. Marsh closing the distance.
Yeah, he is. He's sort of, got that little bounce in his step here.
Little slip. Yeah, he's aiming for that. He's trying to spear him with that foot to the abdomen.
Yeah, he saw how, maybe how close it was to ground. Maybe if he just gets it up next time, just maybe an inch or two up. Just right on that belly button area. Then that would do more legal significant damage for Chad Ritter.
There's another one.
Yeah, and those things, they add up, and they can change a fight. When I think back of one of the fights that I remember most, it was most successful when it was Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington in the first fight. And he kept stabbing him in the stomach with that toe. And that's the first time I saw Colby slow down.
It makes me think of McGregor and Chad Mendez, too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And then here now, as we're approaching the halfway point of this round number 2, now I'm interested to see what is each of these fighters, because it seems like both of these fighters evenly matched, neck and neck, going back and forth. One of these fighters definitely has to do something to separate themselves from their opponent. Because right now, it still could be anybody's fight here. It seems now here like to me, in my opinion, I was about to say the volume and the output of Nelton Marsh is starting to slow down a little bit as Chad Ritter was starting to take control of the center of the combatant, but never mind.
Well, and that's something that Ritter should have picked up on. When you start to see them slow down a little bit, that's like bars, the energy bars. You got to start taking advantage of them when you see that.
Don't allow this individual to, catch their breath.
Yeah,
sometimes that's what they could be doing.
Yeah, don't let him back in. And he's going back to the well with that body kick, which he definitely should be. But he can't let him back into this fight.
Sometimes when you see fighters like a Nelton Marsh just dance around, one jab at a time, they're just utilizing that to just catch their breath. So then they could, engage in and land these elbows right here like he's doing. Because when it comes to MMA, there's no timeout. So you got to create your certain pockets in here of timeout as you're moving around the cage.
Marsh has got a little lead in that right hand, and he's touched him a few times with it.
Yeah.
But they do seem content to stay in about the same range away from each other.
And it sort of seems like they're taking turns. Like one fight, okay, I'll land about 5 strikes on you. Okay, you'll land about 5 strikes on me. But now you got to piece more together in the last 30 seconds here of this second round. Last 10 seconds here. What are each of these fighters going to do to secure this round? It looks like Nelton Marsh is going in for that takedown. Yeah, this third and final round. To me, whoever wins this round wins the fight. And I think Nelton Marsh in his corner realizes that, hence why he comes out with some knees straight up the middle there to Chad Ritter. Within this first 30 seconds here, Nelton Marsh definitely seems more like the aggressor here headed into this third round. And then Chad there is just backing up. Like you mentioned, when it comes to this smaller cage here, you can only back up but so many times until your back is up against the cage.
Yeah, to me, it just seems like Chad Ritter is in sparring mode.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in fight mode. He's in sparring mode.
Yeah, he's just landing for points. I don't know if he's necessarily trying to land for damage. He should go, but Chad Ritter, he should go back to those body, go back to those body kicks.
Yeah, he's having a lot of success with them. I'm not sure why he stopped.
Especially being this southpaw versus orthodox. Those body kicks are there all day.
These guys have stayed moving.
Yeah, they have, both of them utilizing those feints in and out, bending their knees up and down, level change a little bit, but haven't seen too much, entry for a takedown. Both of these guys are content with just, standing in the center and just trading shots.
And and that's also a problem too when you talk about making a decision to do things. If you limit yourself to just striking. Then you take away your options of what you can do. And that's why I've always said, even the best striker should have a good takedown in their arsenal.
Here comes Chad Ritter.
Approaching on that halfway point of round number 3 here. What are each of these fighters going to do to separate themselves? It's still pretty much even.
I'm not keeping a tally, but I feel like more strikes have landed for Chad Ritter.
Yeah, those teeps to the stomach there.
And here comes Nelton Marsh.
Nelton with his heavy hands. Yeah, to me, Nelton Marsh definitely has the heavier hands, but Chad Ritter, like you mentioned, is landing just a little bit more strikes there. He's utilizing kicks and punches, whereas Nelton Marsh, to me, just landed once looking for a knockout, but needs to put a little bit more behind it because they're landing, but I don't know if they're stinging as much as he wants them to.
That's a good little punch.
Yeah, less than 90 seconds left in the action here. Both of these guys need to turn up a little bit. Now, the volume is there, the output is there, but just a little bit more power behind these punches to do more damage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're in sparring mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some of the fans here are getting restless. Like, they're definitely throwing, but it's not enough heat behind these punches. Less than a minute here. And you definitely see the hands of Nelton Marsh are definitely lower than they were before at the beginning of this fight here. And Chad Ritter sort of staggering around. Both of these guys, I think fatigue has definitely set in. They're still moving their feet, but their hands aren't as high up as they were at the beginning.
Under 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, a takedown is definitely going to be needed to secure the victory.
Somebody's got to put an
something.
exclamation on this. It's too back and forth to be disappointed with an outcome for either guy.
Yeah. It's almost, from our perspective, it's almost like who cares?
Yeah. You wouldn't be disappointed whoever gets the victory here. Oh.
ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of actions, we go to the judge scorecard for decision. We have a split decision. Judge Harry Porcher scores the bout 29-28, Marsh. Judge Dorian Marsala scores the bout 29-28, Ritter. And Judge Solomar Miranda scores the bout 30-27, declaring your winner out of the blue corner, Nelton!
Wow, a judge gave him Nelton Marsh all 3 rounds.
Nelton Marsh.